Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, like
All
that.
right.
Is that how it's going to be?
That's what it's going to be like today.
Alrighty then, that's fine. How was your workout?
Workout was good.
Yeah?
I did 10-minute cardio blitz followed by 5 minutes of additional cardio. I'm going off on a tangent there.
That's alright.
And I also did abs.
I saw you doing abs. Like, we were probably, 20 minutes, 25 minutes into our workout, and I saw him doing abs, and I'm like, he always does abs last.
Mm-hmm.
What is he
I
doing?
did them first.
Why?
I want to make sure I did them.
Okay.
So I did them first. Then I did chest and I did triceps.
Okay.
Very good.
And you talk to people about plants.
And I talk more and more people about plants. They're starting to come up to me now.
People are starting to ask
Yeah.
about plants, so that's interesting.
It is.
I did back and buys today, and then at the end I did a little bit of core exercises, some ab stuff. Abs are my filler. I don't do a whole lot of abs. I mean, I do isometric abs when I work out in general, but I don't consciously do a lot of abs because I don't like the round muscular look that abs get when you do them too much. And I fought with that over the course of my life and my athletic career of how much ab workout do I want to do and how do I make sure my stomach stays flat. Because I mean, abs look great naked, but they don't look good in clothes because in clothes it just looks like you have a poochy belly.
Poochy belly.
So that's my rant about abs.
Okay.
Anyway, today's fasting day, so we have no breakfast to
No
show
breakfast.
you. But that's all right. We'll eat later. We still have. I made split pea soup earlier this week, so we
I've
have
been eating it every day.
a split pea soup to eat later, so
Yes.
that'll be good. But today I wanted to talk. I know we've talked about dairy before. It's one of those subjects. So cheese is one of the things that people say, "Oh, but I can't give up cheese." And you know what? I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. Yeah, you don't get it.
No.
So Facebook isn't showing me comments today. So if you guys are commenting, Facebook has decided we don't need to see them, so I'll have to see them later.
Yeah, it's just blank.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's just blank. I don't know what its drama is. It has drama today, but that's okay. So we've talked about cheese and dairy and such quite a bit in the past, and the risks that come with it, cheese being the #1 source of saturated fat in the American diet, the amount of salt that's in cheese. I told you that Russ's mom likes to put Parmesan cheese on her food, and I told him, and I've mentioned it to her, that I think what she's looking for is the salt, not actually the cheese, and if she switched to salt, it would probably be better for her.
It'd be healthier for sure.
Because salt in and of itself isn't actually bad for you, unless you have advanced heart disease, have kidney problems, or hey, it is showing now.
There you
Allison
go.
says good morning.
Good
Thank
morning,
you, Allison.
Allison.
So appreciate that. So unless you have advanced kidneys, you have kidney disease, you have advanced heart disease, or you have like uncontrolled high blood pressure, and those three conditions, yes, salt is going to be a problem for you. But if you are generally healthy, then salt isn't as in and of itself a problem, as long as you're not eating processed food where the industry is putting salt in there. What's
Hey,
Valerie
morning,
saying?
Valerie.
Oh, she loves.
I wonder if
cookies.
these are coming in delayed.
Yeah, I don't know. They might be. I don't know. I have a great recipe for split pea soup. It's obviously vegan, plant-based. So I'm gonna type it up. I am.
Yes.
I'm gonna put it on the website. We're putting the no tuna salad.
Yeah,
or
no
you can
tuna-
make it-
tuna salad,
Or you
yeah.
can make it a macaroni salad. That one's going up on the website for members today.
Yes.
Okay. And I will get the split pea soup one up there. I will. It's hard for me because I don't actually work with recipes. I just throw stuff together, and so when I have to sit down and like type it, and those of you who are members know, if you look at my recipes, it's like, okay, so throw some of this in there, put some of that in there, and then do this with it. They're not normal recipes, but that's all right. You can still make them. But yeah, cheese is one of those things that people struggle with. It's definitely something that, we have some cheese videos out there that get a lot of comments from people about how
Yes.
they love cheese and they don't want to give up cheese and blah, blah, whatever. So if you feel like you absolutely must, for some reason or another, have dairy in your life, we don't recommend it. I don't think it's a good idea. It's not a healthy choice. But if you feel like you are at a point where you cannot give it up, please at least go organic. And I know that kind of limits what you can do because organic is more expensive and it's less available and you can't find a lot of cheeses that are organic. I get that, but let me explain why. Let me see what Adele has to say first though. Once you stop eating cheese, you will not miss it. It took me a month. And it's true.
That's
Once you
true.
get off of it, it becomes much more like, why did I eat that?
And I mean, we went to a local restaurant, 3 or 4 weeks ago now, and ordered a pizza with no cheese. And I'm watching all these other pizzas, you know, the bar pies coming out, and they all had cheese on them for everybody else. And I was actually grossed out. I was like, I can't believe they're going to actually physically eat that stuff. You know?
Well, there was a comment, I think Allison made the comment on one of our other posts about how if you put cheese in a garbage disposal, it gums it up. It's like, yeah, because it's straight fat. So, let's see, it looks like there's another comment. Oh, Chelsea's here this morning. Good morning, Chelsea. So here's why I want you to go organic. And I don't want you to do dairy at all, but if you are, here's why you should do organic. When you don't drink organic milk, they add hormones to those cows. So first of all, any milk that comes from a dairy cow is likely from a pregnant dairy cow. So you're getting all of those pregnancy hormones from those cows to begin with. And then on top of that, they add growth hormone to them. They give them shots that give them more growth hormone because it makes them produce more milk. So in addition to the pregnancy hormones, now you have added hormones. And they're still bovine hormones, so they're still in there. And you may think, well, but it's not milk, it's cheese. Yeah, then it's just concentrated.
Yeah, so it's twice or three times or whatever.
They don't actually take it out. It's still in there. And so, and then plus then you have antibiotics that are going to be in the milk. That's just a reality. A lot of cows are on antibiotics because when you give a cow growth hormone, it obviously does a whole lot of things and it messes up her udder, and a lot of cows end up with what's called mastitis. It's a very painful, inflamed condition. When growing up, you guys know I grew up on a beef ranch, and my brothers worked on dairies. There were a lot of dairies in the area. I've seen cows with mastitis. It is not pretty. I will not describe it to you. It's very gross, but imagine a gland that's just swollen and inflamed and nasty. Now, they're supposed to pull those cows out of the string. They're not supposed to leave them in the string and have that end up in the milk, but they don't always catch them as soon as they should. So it's a little bit of a challenge. So if you're going to eat dairy, if you feel like you have to, go organic, because the other thing is that growth hormone is called IGF-1, which is insulin factor growth hormone 1. So what that does for humans is it turns on cancer cells. So when you're young, especially when you're a teenager, your body produces IGF-1, and that's because it's meant for growing. That's what it does. It helps you grow. But when you get to be an adult, then you're kind of done with that. Like, we're done growing. I mean, I wouldn't mind being a little taller, but you get done growing, and so your body stops producing IGF-1. And if you continue to intake it, then your body has to do something with it. It turns on cancer hormones. It turns off the process where hormones and cells get killed, apoptosis, where they're like, okay, we're done, enough, and they kill them, turns that off. So you don't want extra IGF-1 in your system. It's not a great option. Now, your body, when your body is under stress, like for example, we fast. When you go into fasting, your body bumps your natural IGF-1 just a tiny little bit and kind of speeds up things, but it's not enough to actually shut down the process of healing. It actually helps with the healing, because if you get too much of it, then it's like, oh, we have all this stuff to do, and it gets like all bent out of shape. So I don't know if that's enough to convince you that I think that you should eat organic. And if you really feel like you must, I mean, first I would love for you to get off of dairy altogether.
That is the smartest thing.
That's the smartest choice. And I know in today's culture that's really hard, because it seems like everything comes smothered in bacon and cheese.
Bacon and cheese, I mean, it's just ridiculous.
We were talking to somebody yesterday who said that he ordered steamed broccoli, like just plain steamed broccoli, and the waitress was like, do you want cheese and bacon on that? He's like, no, I want steamed broccoli by itself.
It's just, and like I always say, it's because they got to get rid of it. They got so much of it. They produce so much of it. I mean, it's actually, the government's paying these farmers to produce more than they could possibly sell. Mm-hmm. And so they have to put it in things.
They're looking for places to put it.
And that's why it's everywhere.
Go ahead.
I mean, the fact that they even offer bacon, it's like, here, and this is my opinion. You want a cancer stick? I mean, because
it's basically true.
The more you learn about bacon and the harm it causes, and the carcinogenic that it is, how it's not illegal is beyond mine.
It's bizarre. It really, really is. I was going to say something. What was I going to say?
I'm sorry.
That's okay. You went on a tangent, and then I forgot.
We're talking about dairy.
So, yeah, dairy is not a healthy choice. Oh, I was going to talk about government subsidizing it.
Yes.
So the government subsidizes dairy and it subsidizes beef, and you see complaints that salads are cost $6 and a burger costs $1. Well, that's why.
Yes.
Our tax dollars are being used to subsidize this stuff, and then they add all these hormones
Right.
and all this stuff to these cows, and we end up with all this stuff in the.
So
in the
before
food
you
system.
actually purchase the beef or the dairy, you've already paid for it. Now you're just paying for it again
Right.
at a discounted. Well, not discounted, but you paid for most of it initially, and now you're paying for the remainder.
Right. If
It's
we
kind of like a deductible.
It's true. If we stopped subsidizing meat and dairy, I think a lot more people would be less stressed about going plant-based. Because that's one of the things that people say is it's so expensive. And I'm like, well, beans and rice and such aren't expensive. What is Laura saying this morning? It's unbelievable. Yep.
Yeah.
It's true. It's absolutely true that they push that stuff on us. So we've got to find a way, and I don't know how we do this, and I'm not a political proponent, and I have no idea how it works, but I wish we could get the government to stop subsidizing food that's killing us and start subsidizing like food that's good for us, like
Then you
Brussels
start
sprouts.
subsidizing big broccoli.
Yeah, exactly. That would be a lot better.
Right.
But if you're still in transition and you're still ingesting dairy, look for organic options. It's definitely worth the extra expense as far as your health goes. I mean, you aren't going to get away from the IGF-1 completely. You can't. You're not going to get away from the casein. The casein is the protein that's in it, and the casein is also affects cancer. So there's just a lot of reasons not to ingest dairy. But if you are, I would encourage you to choose organic and just for your health, if nothing else. Hey, Chelsea, what is the nuts about the push to kids to school? Yeah, I know. Milk has to be served in schools. It's a great gig. I mean, can you imagine owning a business where the government pushes your stuff for you?
I saw an article, I don't know, it was maybe a couple of months ago now, and I think I shared it with you, or maybe, I don't know, somehow. Anyway, the point of the article was, the person was writing an article about how excited they were that this woman got selected to be in charge of the cafeteria systems in the school. And it might have been Chicago, I'm not really sure what school system. And she was a whole food plant-based advocate. The first thing she did was bring in Domino's pizza.
What?
As a food for the children, as like a lunchtime food.
That
for
was
the
her
kids.
plan?
That was her plan. And it's because they are, I believe they are, let's say, nudged in the direction of using these things, because that's where the money comes from. And quite honestly, the government pays school systems for these lunch programs. And they basically dictate, this is what you will serve at lunch. And so they give you a choice. You can either serve cheese, or bacon. You know?
Some milk.
Right. And the long-term effects is what scares me. And, they're doing this stuff now, but what's the long-term effects on these children in their health as they get to be in their 20s and 30s? All the diseases, and we see it now, all the diseases that people used to get in their 60s, 70s, and 80s are now happening in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. And eventually it's going to happen in their teens and their 20s.
Yeah, if we keep going the way we're going. Laura makes a good point. She says that if you think vegan's expensive, try being diabetic, having heart disease, or getting cancer.
Right.
Like, that's not cheap.
Yes.
That's definitely not cheap.
Exactly.
So you can definitely take better care of your health. Being plant-based is not expensive. Our food bill went down when we switched to being plant-based. You can buy a lot of great organic things at the big box stores. And we do. You guys know we shop at Costco, and we get a lot of stuff from there. And I know a lot of people who are plant-based who do shop at Costco. So it's not really that expensive.
No, it's
at
not
all.
hard either.
But,
Another comment.
oh, we got another comment? I should scroll then.
Oh, yeah,
Allison, ketchup is a vegetable. I know. That's so just, I can't with the ketchup. It's got, no, that's just silliness. I've had a conversation with a school system meal program director, and yes, even they are brainwashed. I believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Essentially, they'll tell you what the federal requirements. And
That's what they do. They say,
And we see it with nutritionists, we see it with trainers, we see it in the school
It's
system.
why I have a problem with being a certified nutritionist from some states require you to be certified. But what that basically means is you have to learn how to, based on their ideas,
Push the government stuff.
push the government stuff. And that's what they teach them. They teach them that, dairy's essential, meat's essential, all this stuff's essential. Not even, kind of, should have. It's, no, force feed it.
My doctor told me I should take fish oil, and I'm trying to get her to tell me why, what's in it, everything came back normal, healthy, fine, great. Why are you telling me to take fish oil?
And I just saw an article yesterday that talked about how Omega-3, which is why everybody wants to eat fish, is actually not in fish anymore, especially farm-raised fish.
Oh, it's not farm-raised
because
fish at all.
they don't make omega-3. They have to get it from the what is it, the seaweed or whatever it is they're eating.
the
The
green
algae,
stuff,
the
the
algae
algae
that
they
they're
eat,
eating, but they're not eating algae. They're being fed chicken
Soy.
parts and soy.
That's true too.
You know, so they're not actually making it in their body. So when you get the fish that's farm-raised, you're actually not getting omega-3s. So you're still getting an overabundance of omega-6.
Yeah, it's a sad state of affairs.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Don't eat dairy.
Don't need to. Yeah, we went all over the place.
We
today.
did today, but we had a lot to talk about.
Right.
So, you guys know we do our wrap up on Fridays. That's what Laura got to say. But yeah, rote learning. It's sad. It's sad. We do our wrap up on Friday, so if you missed anything, we'll do a quick wrap up tomorrow when you see us. If you have something you want us to cover next week, let us know. And if you're here and you're getting value, please do give us a review on our page. Give us a 5-star review. A few of you have and have written some wonderful things.
Yes,
we
thank
really
you for that.
appreciate it when you do that, because it lets other people know that we're legit, and that's helpful for us. So we appreciate that. You guys know that we have rnrjourney.com, where you can become a member and get more exclusive access, where I post articles and where I get the information that I share with you here. I post on our community page, and you can interact with us about it or interact with each other about it. So come over and join rnrjourney.com. You can get access to more of my sort of recipes, how I make things, and how you can, I'm really trying to teach people more how to cook. Like, okay, you can just pick 3 of these and pick 1 of those. And
Right.
so that's a lot of fun. So pop over there and do that. And if you, good morning, Deborah. It's
Morning,
good to see
Deborah.
you.
Yes.
If you haven't seen our webinar, you can go to howtofeedahuman.com and watch our webinar, and then get access to our masterclass, where we condensed all of this stuff that we
Right.
know and the foundation you need to be whole food, plant-based,
Right.
and tell people about it successfully when they're like, you can't do that, it's not healthy.
Right, and it's on demand. It's and you have total access all the time. Once you're in, you're in.
The masterclass, yeah.
We will be updating it from time to time, but there's no additional cost once you're in. It's just
You are late, Deborah, but that's okay. Well, you can watch the replay.
Exactly.
Do you have anything else you wanted to add?
I think that's it. I think we've said all there is to say today.
All right, we're going to go get
Until
our day
tomorrow.
started.
But tomorrow's our wrap up.
All right.
Okay? I'm having so much fun. I don't want to go. All right. So with that, we will say, eat real food,
Mostly
mostly plants.
plants.
Have a great day, guys.
Have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow.